McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and the producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 to 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the north and 91.5 for the south. At the same time, we simulcast on MBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are also on Facebook Live and streaming live on YouTube as well. I hope you're having a good day so far, that you're keeping safe, that you're keeping possession of yourself, your temperament, your outlook. Be of good cheer, because there's so many things that can test us to the limit and even threaten to push us over the edge. And some of us actually do fall over the edge from time to time. Just resolve not to be one of them. My apologies to you for there being no program yesterday. I posted the notice in the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group. I did it late because of the same reason I was just telling our receptionist there, that for at least 10 minutes, 10 minutes here in Sanssouci, I was no more than maybe 30 yards driving, away. No more than 30 yards away from the entrance of our new location. And it took me a whole of 10 minutes to be able to cross those last 30 yards to get into the studio because of the traffic. I mean, right here in Sanssouci, we're not talking about the main highway, John Compton, Sir Julian Hunt Highway. The traffic is really... And I went to do a couple of things in town, one of which involved going to customs. The position of the Real Issues is kind of awkward for me. I'm very nervous about doing the program, so It's like I go to town in the morning and you can do whatever you want. They can tell you all 8 o'clock they want. You can never really get going until 9:30 in terms of things. You know, by the time the place opens, the turnaround, the this, that, whatever. And I decided before I go to customs to simplify things. Let me go to a certain printing place and have them to print out the invoices for the things that I was going, to clear. And then I made it to the place, asked the officer outside, on the sidewalk outside a certain building, that I was only going to drop this and then I would go and get my parking spot and so on. So I went, dropped the flash drive, explained everything to the young lady, what I wanted done, and said, okay, I'll be back. Because by then I figured she would have finished checking the amount of pages that needed to be printed, the price of it. So when I came, it would simply be a matter of waiting for them or maybe just collecting them to be printed and going about my business. Pay for it, all of that. So I left and I went and eventually found a parking lot where I entered, went back, only to find that the young lady had not touched my flash drive. There was hardly anybody when I went there. Had not even started, could not tell me, what was the price, how many pages in all, because, some invoices go on one page, whatever. Basically seemed to have forgotten me. So I figured, okay, maybe it's a lot of pages. Probably need some more time. Maybe they've never had to print, I don't know. It's a printing establishment. They need some more time. I decided, okay, I haven't eaten for the day as yet. Let me go, there's a little place, let me go eat even it's an egg sandwich or something. And then I figured, okay, after I ate the egg sandwich, maybe the money, the little change that I kept in my pocket, would not be enough to pay for the printing, because up to now there was a phone number taken to call me and say, okay, so it's 30 pages at $5 a page. No, it was so expensive. So $150. I never got the call. Kept waiting, never got the call. I decided, okay, use your head. Went to a nearby ATM. Took a little more money to add onto what I had already, or to replace what I spent on the breakfast, to make sure that when I went back, that I had enough money. Went back to the place, still nothing printed as yet. I say, okay. No, when I went back this time, it was printed as yet already. I was told the price, paid for it. But then the owner of the place, I think, looks at me and says to me, why couldn't you just wait? Did you have to leave and come back? I said, oh, this sounds really out of place. Why couldn't you just sit and wait for the thing? I said, well, look at the length of time it's taken for me to finally collect it. And then he comes into telling me that if I were there and I could be seen when you're in front of the person will save you. And here's the analogy that he draws up for reference. If you had gone to a bank and the teller that you intended to go to, they put, something like, what you normally do just when you're about to go, next teller please, or, position closed or whatever. I said, so that's not the same thing. When you're on a line, you have no choice, but what you have there is more like a little restaurant. You place an order and you're told, okay, the order will be ready in an hour. So you go and do something. You have to optimize your time. The way town is with traffic, with parking, with this, with that, and so on. And places do not answer the phone. The particular printing place I had been trying to call for days, can't get them. Another one you call, things ring out, bounce several people. There's difficulty answering the phone. It used to be before. Anyway. But he gets into an argument. Well, not an argument. He says he wasn't arguing. He was just pointing out to me that and I'm thinking to myself, who is this dude to tell me how to utilize my time? If something is going to take some time to do and so on, what is wrong with me stepping to the post office to drop a letter in the letterbox? What is wrong with me going to an ATM to get a couple dollars in my pocket? What is me with me and then to come back and to do the thing, which I paid for with no problem whatsoever? Anyway, turns out I ended up leaving on a not so good note for a place I had been going to for years, and I wondered, what irritation got under the skin of this guy, that he spoke to me in a way that he's never spoken to me before, in many, many years that I've been patronizing his business. And I'm somebody, I have a lot of brand loyalty about me, a lot of business loyalty about me. You've heard me come here and talk about a wonderful elderly man, Mr. Mohammed Aziz, and his little place which is closed now, Country Kitchen on Jabati Street, just because of the niceness. Sometimes you don't even know if the food is nice. It's just the fact. You don't even know, although the food was nice, but the niceness of the people makes anything taste nice. And this particular guy, I always found him to be cool, the epitome of cool. And it had me thinking, if he can seem a little flustered and ruffled and irritable and whatever, who might not be? So folks, the reason I'm bringing up this story is not to say how bad this other fellow, maybe I was worse. People just be careful. Things like the traffic, a whole lot of different things, they can irritate you. He explained to me some of the problem that he had. I won't go into because people might be able to identify who it is. But apparently, his business has been affected by something outside his control, blah, 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 and so on. So, people sometimes, as we can see, they are seething and chafing. And when we go on unnecessarily, rub them the wrong way, it can get even worse. I had to go on a very long show. I ended up collecting the invoices, going to customs, which strangely, didn't take that long. The customs people from red cap to customs inspector, all of that was so nice, but of course things take time. By the time they finished the inspection, and for me to go and pay, I found a parking inside the Port Authority, yard, whatever, went to the shed and so on. Customs people, big up to y'all, Big up to y'all. Over the years, there has been that kind of professionalism about customs. Not talking about giving you a break, but when you see it comes to courtesy, when it comes to respect, when it comes to politeness, when it comes to, this long time of people feel I have the authority, so you can't do nothing, so they can talk to you anyway. I have keep saying that over the years, customs, inland revenue, the post office, and many other places, we can say what we want about the young generation and the new generation. Give me the generation, and it's a few years now, of younger people being in those positions. I'll take them anytime than the cocky, arrogant dinosaurs who were put there, and you can't tell them anything, and they're basically looking to see if you give them for them to show you, they can squeeze you and they can make you wait, and you're not clearing nothing. It's a long time this attitude is gone. So customs, as I've said before, and I could mention names. I remember in times past when I thought of inland revenue, people like Leslie and Modest, and there's a Mr. Ogis, there's another, and people I could name them, great people and so on, a professionalism in them that I could name. The post office, parcel post, whatever it is, government departments where people were behaving that because they're working for government, they have a certain permanence, they can't easily be fired, they can only be transferred, blah, 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 blah. That thing has gone. You get a sense that people are working in a manner where they want to show themselves that they're earning their keep and they are deserving of the position that they hold and the salary that they get and everything. I can never say big up enough. When you go to certain departments like customs, you wonder if if it's a private enterprise, because you tend to find the motivation in times past, of course, because there are some people who work for private enterprise, and I wonder if Mr. Sunbuilt or Mr. Home Depot or whatever knew what was happening on the floor to the level of the cashier and so on, if they would keep those people. But sometimes it's too much stress. You just pick up and you go away. I find that the customer service ethic in many private enterprises is bad, it is worse, and the government or state agencies are in fact surpassing them and doing far better. That's my personal opinion. I went there. I went through the process, explained to me why, okay, you want Christmas concession, but we can't give you on that because this, that, XYZ, household items refer to A, B, C, XYZ. Okay, we'll ignore this. It's just $1 or $2 US. It's negligible, whatever. It's kind of above board, even-handedness and so on. Explain to me what I had to pay. They said, look, this is the item and that one and so on. They knocked you out of the zone and so on or whatever. Good thing. At the time they finished, guess what? 7 minutes past 3. The cash closes at 3 o'clock. So I had to leave what was essentially cleared already and left. But I didn't have any regrets. I'll try to go. Again, I would have gone this morning, but I had to make a very long trip down the coast. And again, I decided to take the East Coast instead of the West Coast, which was a good decision, I think, because of what is happening on the West Coast. I've seen it once or maybe twice, and I don't want to see it again. If it was that way then, what is it like now? But the road isn't what it used to be before, where you drive for a good distance and don't see another vehicle. Every time you see a space for you to pass a massive truck and a big truck and another that's in front of you, you see other vehicles coming. And there was a particular guy driving a goods vehicle. Well, the diesel, once it starts hitting the going up the hill, it slows down. So when I think I'm going to pass, whoop, that's when vehicles come in. When he reaches the crest of the hill and I think, okay, I'll take him on the down, he times me with some good acceleration, a little mischief, I guess, or maybe the guy himself was in a hurry. So I just, got back to town in fairly good time. And then I'm saying, but look at it, I did that trip to where I was going and back. And it's when I reach town, bike, I just got more. And then I come through San Souci and I'm saying, wow, from the time I hit the first roundabout opposite the Carmen Rainey School, from the time I hit the first roundabout there, things there, I had to wait endless at that little roundabout. Some good Samaritan let me through because some people, they seen they can't go, but they're still blocking the intersection. Allow me to go through. As soon as I go through, something tell me, watch out, because somebody coming from the side of the fisheries, Now, if you're coming to a roundabout, and I am coming, how you call that, from the side of the Bethel Tabernacle. I must learn those streets better. But I'm coming from the Bethel Tabernacle side, and you coming from the fishery side. It means that I am on your right. You understand? I am on your right. The person who let me through, I should have given way to them. But something tell me just tap my brakes, because the person who was coming from the fishery side, who should have stopped for me, because you must give way to traffic coming from your right. It means you coming from my left, I'm coming from your right. But when I see the kind of pep the person coming, something tell me just lift my foot off my accelerator, put it on my brake, and it's a good thing I did, because me see they got finek man. And I'm sure it's not somebody who was being rude, arrogant, aggressive, whatever. Just total ignorance. A lot of people driving on the road and they do not understand the principle of giving way at a roundabout to traffic from your right. But preventing an accident is better. But like I tell you, I went there, I made the left turn to come to where I've described to you, the second roundabout, and 10 minutes, I'm no more than 30 yards away. And I can't get there. People, be patient. It brings me to mind something else that I wanted to talk about. In a way, it was enlightening. Relieving is not a good word, but it was kind of after I have ranted about it so much to hear Stevenson King come and say about those roads, Millennium Highway, Forever Road, and now the West Coast Road, how they have been a source of frustration to him. And I perfectly understand. And I don't doubt him. I'm glad he's come out, and I wish other people would come out and talk about what went wrong with that road. Maybe I have misunderstood the role of a consultant engineer vis-a-vis a project manager. It looks like there's consultant and there's project engineer. These days, that's one of the popular things, project management. It's about everybody you talk, they're going to do a course or a degree or a diploma in project management. And you wonder, there was a time it was international relations. Everybody wanted to go and do international relations and so on. Another time it was law. Every other person tell you they go in and study law. We still have them and so on. But I've asked myself questions about that Millennium Highway. How is it that a piece of road that is not virgin road, it's not to say it's a road you're cutting fresh. You have to cut into the hillsides and a heavy bulldozer to move mountains of earth and so on. It's a road that has been there for 25 years. I remember B&D working on that, and C.O. Williams and whatever and so on. So whatever you have to do, it can't be that it's not a road you're starting from scratch. That's what I mean. It's not a virgin road. How could that road have taken? And exactly what Stevenson King said is what I've been saying. Every time you say, okay, they're making a little progress. It's like things just die. Things just stall again. And I mean, if a contract for that road was awarded in 2019, it means that somewhere along this year, it's going to be 6 years that road has been going on, and we keep getting timelines. They said January last year, then it moved to this, it moved to that, it moved to another. It's February, they can't close out the road. I drove on it. It's a lot more improved in longer sections than before. But I can understand. And the same person who is the consultant for Millennium Highway, which was done or is being done by C.O. Williams Construction, is the same person who's the consultant for the West Coast Road, which is being done by Namalco. And Stevenson King is saying, look, after he has been through all the stress and frustration of that Millennium Highway, now he's seeing, he didn't say it this way, but Namalco doing foolishness. They're doing foolishness. You can't be telling me a contract which was awarded to you how long ago is now you advertising for drivers and for this and for that and the other basic things that should have been part of your resource mobilization well in advance. Maybe they have their own story to tell. But what is going on? I hear people saying, oh, both C.O. Williams and Namalco, the contract was given to them before the Philip JP administration came to office. And, you know, some people name Guy Joseph is the one. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know, was Guy minister responsible for roads at the time? I don't know. Was he as economic development minister? But regardless of that, the Labour government this year is going to be 4 years in office. And I am a little tremulous. Blood. For me to think that 4 years after the Labour Party won that absolutely blow away victory over the United Workers' Party in July 2021, that the actions of the United Workers' Party then and before will still continue to be holding the Labour Party to ransom, will still continue holding the Labour Party captive, will still continue holding the Labour Party by the scrotum, by the nuts, by the grains, by the balls, whatever we want to call it. You know, if it's not the C.O. Williams thing, it's the Namalco thing. How much will the Labour Party remain, in a scrotal grip? I'm trying to put it nicely. How long will the Labour Party remain squeezed and held and crushed in a scrotal grip by the actions of the United Workers' Party when you won such an absolutely stunning, landslide, overwhelming victory, over the UWP, but the UWP by its actions still continue? Now, if you see Millennium Highway was a source of frustration, not just to the minister, to commuters, minibus drivers, you talk to them, this getting them vexed, etc., etc. Minister pointed out the long stretches that they go and they grade whatever before they are ready to work on it. I was told it's because of equipment, milling machine and so on that they need to rent, and to go on to rent it and do a piece and go back. It's expensive. But I don't know. Something ain't working out there. Something. And if you see, Millennium Highway was one that maybe the government has escaped by the skin of its teeth in terms of the public frustration and anger and vexation and irritation, whatever it is that it would have caused. I'm much more afraid for what the West Coast Road can cause, because that is a much longer stretch of road. That is a road over much more inhospitable, difficult, precipitous, precarious, casco and all of that, terrain. A lot more twists and turns and hairpin bends and steep inclines and steep down hills, and it's a lot more of a difficult project to me, the layman. If you could have struggled so much with Millennium Highway, the forever road, then what is West Coast Road going to be? The eternal road? The infinity road that will go on and on? How is it going to impact the people of the communities that it passes through, or that it serves, or that it runs parallel and adjacent to? Because we're talking about cul-de-sac, we're talking about Lakwamengo, we're talking about Marigo, we're talking about Roseau, we're talking about Ancillary with all the places of Otabo and this and that and the other. We're talking about canneries with Aslavedi and Belvedere, and with, going all the way to Soufrière. That road is going to impact people, and I've just brushed a few of them. How much more problem is that road going to cause? And I will say again, It appears to me that from the very foundation in the granting of the contracts, certain things were amiss. I'm not going to mention it specifically, but it's a case of if. We have a company called, since it's so close to me, Jaquan and Daniel, you know, and we incorporate one of them, Jaquan and Daniel St. Lucia Limited. And because we're doing work in St. Vincent or Martinique, we have another one, Jaquan and Daniel St. Vincent. Do you know that even if Jaquan and Daniel are the shareholders or directors in either case, they are two separate legal entities. And if I'm bidding for a job in St. Lucia that we intend for Jaquan and Daniel St. Lucia to do the job, to me it is fraudulent for us to come and to submit the bid and pretend as if it is Jaquan and Daniel St. Vincent that's bidding for the job. They are two separate legal entities. And maybe the reason that I'm doing it is because Jaquan and Daniel St. Vincent has the required money. They have the required mobilization capacity. They have the equipment. They have all the pre-qualifying, requirements that are needed for your bid to be considered. Maybe Jaquan and Daniel St. Lucia is bankrupt. We have no money. We have no equipment. So we go and we bid under the name of Jaquan and Daniel St. Vincent. We get the contract. But at the end of the day, who shows up? Jaquan and Daniel St. Lucia, who don't have one bulldozer, who don't have one dump truck, who don't have a penny in the bank for them to at least say, let us start it. We can buy the premix and we can buy that. And when the money is disbursed in tranches, we have nothing. And so we get the job, but it is like we are now trying to play catch up. We are now trying to block a little there, but we really were not prepared. We really didn't have the capacity to begin with to do the work. And if that is the thing, at some point, I think that needs to be exposed because it is fraudulence to me in the very bidding and tendering, whatever we call it, process. And no way a St. Lucian entity can get away with that. In some other Caribbean countries, which I know, another St. Lucian company has to come and give you help to enable you to stay afloat. And there's a covering up and a trying to hide for you to make it not look so bad. I don't know what's the rationale for it. If it is to protect St. Lucian jobs, you can always come up with an excuse. But that Millennium Highway has gone on long like that because, I hate to use the word, it appears to me that there was some Cocomacac nonsense, and it has nothing to do with Stevenson King. It has nothing to do with Philip J. Pierre. And questions need to be asked about those things. Especially since the agency that is responsible for overseeing and supervising and awarding contract to consultant and to project, whatever management and to the contractor and all of that, is a regional institution that is headquartered and based in Barbados. We need to ask ourselves whether the contract was awarded ostensibly or upfront to C.O. Williams, Barbados, but it turns out that it is C.O. Williams, St. Lucia, which is executing it. My understanding is that there are two separate legal entities. Did C.O. Williams St. Lucia have the capacity, the resources, meet the pre-qualifying conditions, the prerequisites and so on to execute that work? Or did they find themselves struggling because they did not have equipment, they did not have manpower, they did not have money and so on? If that is what happened, an investigation needs to be done. And I'm hoping the investigation will be done with a certain degree of alacrity, especially now that the CDB has a president who replaced the St. Lucian economist, Dr. Hyginus Jean Leon. His name is Daniel Best. He's supposed to be a building contractor. They call him construction engineer. And he's supposed to be a man who has the background of rigor and the background of a certain degree of profundity, and because he came, it seems, straight from the office of the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Motley, into the chair of President of the Caribbean Development Bank. So a man who knows construction engineering, I hope that these things can be looked at in a more exhaustive manner. Because I know, and I'll say it again, if you see, was Renault who went to do a project in Barbados and the project struggled like that, and it took so long, and it don't matter whether it is British government that was giving the money, so it's not money from Central Bank of Barbados or blah, 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 or whatever it is. I am telling you, Barbadians would have been up in arms, and it's not just minister and opposition. If you're listening to Brass Tacks or whatever on Voice of Barbados, whatever, I'm telling you, it would have been absolute hell on earth the way they would have gone down. So, Minister King, I'm hoping that at some point you can get to the bottom of it. Because as I look at 2025, it would really be tragic, it would be painful, it would be sad, it would be heartbreaking for all the good things that the Philip J. Pierre administration has done, is doing, and is yet to do, for them to be taking pluck and plumb for roads which they essentially have nothing to do. They're not the ones putting up the money. They're not the ones managing the project. They're not the ones consulting and giving directions for technical specifications. And they're not the ones who awarded the contract or who executing it if they have equipment and those kinds of things. You're not the ones doing it. Like, they have to stand by there. And the government needs to review those kinds of situations, because there is nothing that is more risky for a government, politically and otherwise, than to be seen as vulnerable, than to be seen as helpless, than to be seen as a sitting duck. That you can be there. People can use you for a turkey shoot, fire any amount of scatter shots at you. What hit, what don't hit. And like you there, and you have to be wringing your hands and essentially saying, well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's out of our hands. Nothing in the country over which you preside and you govern, and where you have such a powerful, sweeping, overwhelming mandate from the people, nothing should be out of your hands and you're helpless and you can't do anything about it. That should never happen. Never happen. And once the impression goes out to people where you're saying, well, we pretty much, we stuck, we can't. No. The power which derives from the people ain't supposed to behave nothing like that. The power which derives from the people. Not in your own space, not in your own domicile, not in your own polity, not within your own borders. That you're helpless and things are going and they're out of your hands and they're out of control and you can't do anything. That should never happen. What time is it, Jaquan? Time for the break, yes. I may have gone a little overboard with that, but I think you understand. This is the real issues.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Everyone for staying with the real issues on this Wednesday, the 19th of February 2025, with me, Shelton Daniel, assisted by Jaquan Joseph. I had a very nice call, and she sent pictures but asked, that her identity be concealed, about a St. Lucian who went to Martinique to the famed, highly regarded, highly respected, Lamena Hospital in Martinique, and she was scheduled for surgery. She was prepped, everything, records, everything, and twice the surgery was postponed because they told her it's absolute chaos. They are overwhelmed at the hospital. They have no beds. They have to push back her surgery because emergency cases are coming that they must give greater priority. On one occasion, I think they had her to overnight at the hospital so that they could see if there was an opening to do the surgery for her. But on the second occasion, they told her no, they can't even allow her to overnight at the hospital because they have absolutely no space, no beds, no nothing. And she sent me a picture, showing she has the wristband, the tag that they put on you, like you're already, everything is confirmed, admitted and so on, to wheel her into surgery and so on. And they had to pull all of that. There's a lot more she told me, but I think paraphrasing is that. And you know why the young lady told me? She said, look, when people here believe that they have chaotic situations at OKEU and they're making noise about it and beds are not available, this is Lamina, you know. In Martinique in France, just next to us, a department of France, where their standard and their quality of care and facilities and staff and whatever is supposed to be so many light years ahead and beyond ours. It's a lifesaver for us when we allegedly, ostensibly dying over here. And she said people don't know. Which is a point where it's just too much, they just cannot cope. But she said, look, the people who want to use the situation of healthcare in St. Lucia for propaganda purposes, for political purposes, they need to understand that these are trying and testing and challenging times for healthcare services in even the most advanced, even the most technologically sophisticated, even the most developed settings that you can think of. And I don't want to make excuses, you know. I want to say thanks to the young lady who sent me these pictures and who called me and explained to me and said she really was stunned when she saw. He said at one point the surgeon who was supposed to operate on her called her to apologize and she could hear how he sounded despondent. He came to see her at one time to explain because on the second occasion, like they had given her every assurance, everything, and she saw the man and she's happy he didn't operate on her because he just looked so wiped out, so tired, so exhausted, you know, so frustrated at Lamina in Martinique. And the picture she sent me is showing her in her, how you call that, the surgical, whatever, pajamas or whatever, you know, that they have her on and so on. She's telling me that. Someone else sent a message and said, well, let me leave that one for a little while. But thank you very much for those of you who have sent me nice messages. One of them says, good day to you, sir. Happy to know you are on today. Give thanks. I am, and I always give thanks for people like you, Vincent. Thank you very much. And another one says, a lady called Muriel says, nice to see you back because I was not feeling well, but now I see you back, I'm feeling well. Thank you. Have a great day. Blessings, stay safe. And I'm talking about healthcare, you know, and all I need to do is let people see me on, and we'll have less hospital admissions. I wish. Cornelia must give me a little poke in the ribs over that one. Good afternoon to you, Cornelia Jacob. Nice as always to have you on with us. And let me see which other one. Okay, the one that I wanted. Someone said, not on this subject, so typical of these Flabo operatives. Seems like every time he opens his mouth, the president of the Police Welfare Association keeps shifting the bar. When he first spoke on the wage negotiations, his issue was he thought they were negotiating for only one triennium, and his concern was with fringe benefits over the second triennium. Next we heard from him it was about overtime, how police worked for 48 hours and how that is slavery. Today is they have not even settled on salaries. It is very clear the Police Welfare Association needs a new president, one who is not so easily confused. I've spoken at length about Cameron law, and I don't like to make it sound like it is personal or ad hominem. I have no reason to hold anything personal against the gentleman. I tend to admire people who speak well. I find him very well spoken, very articulate, very fluent. I find even the quality of his voice. I like people who have good, what you'd call broadcast quality voices. Now ask me what that is, you know, it's a long story in itself. I wasn't too impressed with Kamala Harris, but my goodness, she had a voice, you know, if repetitive, but I love to hear it. And we are not going back. You know, Donald Trump is a danger to our democracy. And she spoke and I think a lot of the things she said that to me seem like vague intangibles about constitution and democracy when people want to know about the rising prices and jobs and those kind of things. Whenever she was asked to articulate some economic policies, he seemed to struggle. And there are reasons for it, I can well understand. Vice President is in many ways an unenviable position if you intend to run for president, because for 4 years at least, you have to be walking in the shadow of somebody else. You have to be the echo chamber. You have to make yourself almost invisible so that you don't make waves, so that you don't steal their thunder. You have to be rubber stamping. If you disagree with anything, nobody is even supposed to know. And then for you to be running for president while the person who was your boss, who you followed, it seemed unquestioningly for 4 years, now you will be asked about, well, what will you do now to see to it that you jumpstart the economy and create jobs? You might be lured into critiquing the person who's still your boss, the person that you supported. And if you come and say, well, what I would do now is that I would open up, for the drilling, and I would pull back from some of the restrictive agreements that, but you were part of it, you were the number 2 person for 4 years. How do you go about doing that? Articulating a policy that may of necessity need to represent a departure from what you were part of for so many years. So I felt it was, but I love to hear her voice. Love to hear her voice. And the same way with Cameron Law. I think the guy has a nice, mellifluous is the word. I don't know if it's, maybe I'm not checking a dictionary. If I'm committing a malapropism, feel free to tell me. I like to hear the guy. The guy is smooth and so on, but over the years I've followed Law, and I tend to believe that he uses those qualities, his fluency, his mellifluous intonation and so on, in a kind of a sneaky, sly, he has a little viper, a smooth operator, but a snake, a viper. A guy who knows how to disguise what his really intentions are. Like when he tells you, no one has ever asked me to be a candidate. I've never had any interest. He sounds, we're going to prove that and so on. But I don't know. Cameron Law, the timing of your moves are more than suspicious. The things you say, the things you delve into, the impacts report that you were so obsessed with at one time, and to me that was out of the remit and purview of a police welfare association. And even the timing of your coming back as president or chairman of Police Welfare Association, I find it to be suspicious. That the Police Welfare Association is holding out when just about everybody else, well, I heard National Workers Union, which doesn't surprise me. But National Workers Union, I'm not going to say too much about them. I have my reasons for being a little more charitable in the way that I think of them and look at them and don't jump to conclusions and don't say things. But it will not surprise me as the year wears on that the National Workers Union becomes a lot more strident and a lot more militant than many people thought it could have been and should have been in the standoff with First National. Remember that thing, First National Bank workers? A lot of people felt the National Workers Union was uncharacteristically docile in this thing. And then people began to say, okay, well, the brother of the founder of, or whatever, the president general of National Workers Union, whatever, is also the chairman of First National Banks in Lucia. I never went into that, but it was being said at the time. So I don't know. I suspect between National Workers Union and police welfare, we may see some interesting things unfold. But it is what it is. Once people conduct themselves in accordance with established and lawful industrial relations practice, where they may be leaning is not. But I have to tell you that Cameron Law is a guy I have a certain degree of admiration for. I've already told you. There is nothing personal. But I think there's a certain slyness, about him. And if he isn't as smooth as he is sly, if he doesn't execute with the adroitness that maybe he could have, it's because there might be some limitations. I'm not putting him down, but in the brain power, Like that other cop who has been controversial, what's his name, Jan Gustav. And I heard so much about the guy, I decided to go look at his Facebook page, and I saw some of the things, and I said, wow, if he is not using AI, if he's not using some other prop, to basically supplement his ability, the guy writes well. The guy writes well. And I wondered whether, police sergeant has probably been around for 2 decades and so on, whether he could not use his writing ability to chronicle and journal certain things and, catalog and certain things that, that have unfolded in the force in his time, maybe begin to write some memoirs, perhaps he can't publish them. I looked at him and I said, What a waste if that is really his own ability. Always think you want to tear into this and that and make threats and so on and so forth. I saw some ability there and I said, okay, this guy's on the sum of it, and in many ways he's probably nobody's fool, but I'll leave it at that. Leave it at that for the time being. But I have a little lingering distrust of Cameron Law. And maybe it's not shared by other people, but I have this lingering distrust of him in terms of the genuineness, the sincerity of not just the positions he takes, but his motivations and his timings for taking those positions. What really he hopes to get out of it. All right. Folks, I'll open the phone lines, for your calls. Remember the WhatsApp call-in line, 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that line. And the studio landline, 4533-911. They're ready to take your calls. Okay, let's see some of the messages. Okay, so 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that. And also 4533-911. Our studio direct landline number. There's something did I just get distracted there? Good day, Shelton. The situation at the Martinique Hospital is not very different from, and in some cases worse than, what people are complaining about at our hospitals here. In October 2021, I was taken to the emergency at the Martinique Hospital via ambulance about 1:30 a.m. After triage, I was wheeled on a stretcher/gurney to a corridor where over 20 other patients were waiting to be attended to. No exaggeration, it was 6:30 p.m. when I was finally attended to and admitted to the cardiology ward. All right, so was that a call coming or were you just testing? Okay. All right, so, and I know this person, he's genuine in terms of what he's saying about 5 hours, 5 hours waiting to be attended to in a hospital in Martinique. I mean, we have to realize it's not in St. Lucia we have long lines of traffic and traffic jam and so on. My thing for ranting about it is, look, if there were things we could have done better, if there are things we could have done differently, let's do it. It's not because there's traffic jam and there's littering and there's garbage in New York and so on that we have to do it here. Maybe the very smallness of our country makes it much easier for us to manage and self-manage and to take care of it, because it's a tiny space. We don't have to cover thousands of kilometers and so on. We can do a lot better. So let's do it. But thank you very much for this message. Let me see if I can. Somebody sends a message saying, good afternoon. Gustav has over 3 decades. He was, okay, I think that's police. He says, good afternoon. Gustav has over 3 decades. He was one course before me, course number 14. All right, so this person is claiming that Jan Gustav has been in the force for more than 30 years. I don't know, but this is an experienced police officer. He's been around. Nobody's telling you don't have who you support and who you like and who you don't like. But understand, there is the modifying circumstance that you wear the uniform and insignia of the state as a law enforcement / police officer. All right, let's take that call. Good afternoon, Real Issues, you're on the air.
My friend, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
A bit tired, but I'm okay otherwise.
What gets you so tired?
Yeah, I took part in the Central Castries marathon battle relay yesterday, man. I did most of the entire route. I'm
told that you did no more than about 10 yards, which is about 30, which is about 30 feet and so on.
Well, if it's 10, it's in euro,
But it's the best 10-yard dash anybody ever saw. So congrats.
It was really, Sheldon, that was really, positive. I enjoy interacting with the school children. Man, there was a police officer, a traffic officer, man. I think his name is Officer Broom.
Oh, yes,
Big up to that man, boy.
Yes. I heard somebody else talk about him, yes.
Yeah, man, his energy, to me, that man is a community man. That man is a people's person. He's really nice, man.
It's a
friendly.
good. It's a
He
good.
was able to motivate the children, you know.
It's a good thing that Barbadian band, the comedy musical band, what they call themselves, Mad. You know the lead guy on it was called himself PC Brooms or something like that. So
yeah, man. That officer deserves some kudos, man.
That seems to be the very opposite. A very serious. They take himself seriously and take his work seriously, officer. So I join you in saying big up to Officer Brooms.
Yeah, man, big up to Officer Brooms, man. Big up, man.
Okay.
And the Honorable Richard Frederick, boy, that man fit. That man did almost the entire route also.
Okay.
It was the entire route. Along with his wife, Shelton. Richard Frederick have a really positive and supportive wife, man. Yeah, man. She's really cool and nice, man.
Okay.
Humble person. Yeah, man. I like her vibes, man. Big up, to Richard Frederick's wife also,
Okay.
But Shelton, boy, our government working, Papa.
Yes, it is.
Because, let me tell you, the evidence there, endless work in Cashew Central as far as infrastructure is concerned. When you pass in the harbor, I think yesterday they had about three cruise ships there, things happening. And imagine civil servants, but some of them sleep outside the bank, Some civil servants slept outside the bank. They couldn't wait for the day to break, man. $18 million, Sheldon. 18 mil, Sheldon.
But look, an article is just coming, flashing there that Cameron Law is not happy that the Prime Minister has imposed that increase on them, that he has pushed the money in their pocket before they could say they want it, man,
Sheldon, I you.
I don't know if it's true, it's just something I'm seeing there, and it's coming from St. Lucia Times. President of the Police Welfare Association, PWA, Cameron Law, has strongly criticized Prime Minister Philip JP's move to increase pay for police officers, calling the move an imposition that disrespects the ongoing negotiation process. Law made the remarks to St. Lucia Times on Wednesday morning, as this morning, ahead of a general meeting with PWA members where he was due to address, among other things, concerns about the Prime Minister's announcement the night before. And it goes on to say in the televised address, Pierre said that police officers and fortnightly paid workers represented by the National Workers Union would receive their back pay with other public sector employees whose bargaining agents agreed to a 13% pay increase despite ongoing negotiations with the government. He acknowledged that discussions between the government negotiating team, GNT, the body mandated to handle negotiations with unions, and the PWA, the NWU, was still in progress, and that he had instructed the GNT to resolve outstanding concerns as soon as possible. However, Law described the announcement as gross disrespect. He suggested that it was premature and inappropriate since the PWA had not reached an agreement on fringe benefits, which had to be completed before they moved on to salaries. We have not gotten to that point, and it is gross disrespect and disregard to the Police Welfare Association, Law told St. Lucia Times. Negotiations have not been concluded. We have not gotten to the point of addressing salaries and the proposal of a certain percentage by the employer, but it is going to be imposed. The PWA president added, even if we may have considered the salary hike favorably, it is not within the purview because it has not been agreed to for the Prime Minister to impose it. He also criticized what he described as contradictory behavior from the Prime Minister. Law noted that Pierre had previously assured the association that he would not interfere in the negotiation process. This has gone on a lot longer, but I'm just thinking.
Now, Shell,
I don't know.
Shell, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Before I mention his name, Cameron Law.
Yeah.
Cameron Law is my friend. But the reason I will criticize him, but I know after I finish call, I know he'll call me. I find he not consistent. He's inconsistent, and I'll tell you why, Sheldon. You remember that favorite statement? I'll mark their faces or mark their faces.
Yeah, that was Joycelyn Fletcher who said that, right?
Mark their faces, mark the faces of the police officers.
Yeah.
And I never heard my friend Cameron Law saying anything about that. People are asking to mark police faces. Yeah. Remember them.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything about that. When I think Corporal Inspector de Serville, when he refused to give St. Lucian rubber bullets for going around the island, he was transferred with immediate effect. I heard law said nothing about that.
Yeah.
So I just find that law is inconsistent. But Shelton,
Yes.
things are happening in the country. The police have more money in their pockets. Happy days, my brother. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. You know, these are some of the reasons why I tell you that Cameron Law to me is a political viper. You know, he's a political viper who likes to, who's always disguising his intentions with nice sounding words. I mean, the other unions have accepted the increase. Any prime minister who's concerned will say, okay, until the police welfare decide what it is that they want, let us give them the increase at the level we have given. So you don't find a case where all other public servants are getting $13 on every $100 that they make more on their salary, and police are getting the same thing. Give it to them. If they reach a point where they're able to say, okay, we didn't want the full 13%, we'll satisfy with 10. I don't think you'll take back what you give them, but you'll adjust it. I don't know. I don't know if it ever works that way anyway, if you'll ever give them less than what is the average that everybody else is getting. If they manage to squeeze out 15, which you're asking for trouble if you give them and you don't give others that amount, then you can make the adjustments later, but don't deprive them of the extra money while they are trying to finalize their position on it. I think there's precedent for that sort of thing. It's just the same way as when negotiations are concluded. People who are not unionized and maybe didn't support the union or whatever, they'll get the increase just the same way. So I don't know, what this guy, now he wants to be critiquing the prime minister and so on. We have a caller on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Well, if you were to ask me, common law, is on. He has his own motive.
It's a political agenda this guy has, and he's trying to say no. But how you watch this guy, sensible people, which he does not seem to think or to understand or to believe exist in St. Lucia. Sensible people can see right through Cameron Law's agenda that it is a political agenda and an anti-Labour Party political agenda. That's what it is. Because whenever UWP is in office and so on, Cameron Law is conspicuously silent. But go ahead. Sorry to take your time.
No, it's okay. If you were to ask me, I do not know why. Whenever Labour Party is in power, they are taken to the task.
Some people find their voice.
Yes. They are taken to the task. They threaten who they want. They say whatever they want. Nobody does nothing to them. If you dare try that, when UWP is in power, the police will be picking you up immediately. And I am saying boldly, Alan, he has that guy on an agenda. Because have we forgotten what Alan said when he used to speak when he was in power? His police, my police. I said, I didn't know the force belonged to Alan. And it sounded right because Milton used to do whatever he wanted.
Yes. Give me 1 second. Let me just place another call on hold. Call on the landline. Just hold on, okay? We have somebody else on the WhatsApp line. Can you hold on and let's just finish with the other caller. Maria, go ahead.
Yes. Let me say something to you.
Yeah,
That's got to stop. And it's only in St. Lucia that nonsense will happen. Only in St. Lucia.
Yes.
And about that Lamena business, people, we cannot compare ourselves with Lamena. Secondly, we have 2 hospitals in St. Lucia. One in the north, one in the south. Do you know in Martinique has 33 villages and towns together. Only I know all of them. I have gone through all of them. Only about 4 or 5.
Wrap up, please, because we have another caller waiting.
That does not have a hospital like the one in Soufrière. Once there is a strain on Lamena, you know when things are. And when it is hot, it is worse than the state of St. Jude.
Okay.
So have a good day, people.
Thanks. Okay, you as
And
well.
Gaspar, don't come and talk about the relay. You just want to give that to Castle Central. Good.
Okay. Somebody says, okay, let's take that to the call because we are overdue for a commercial break. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I would just like to say honestly that we need to start understanding and respecting people's position in this country, because at the end of the day we make every single thing political, every single thing, that even when we leave power and we come into power, it cannot work for us, because we tend to make people, vilify people, make people look like, it's either you labor or you flubber. But we are solutions first. At the end of the day, we are solutions first. I see nothing wrong with the representative for the police looking for certain things for his people, because he knows what they are going through. He knows the hours they are working. He knows the conditions on which they are working.
Even when he confuses, even when he's clearly confusing back pay with salary increase. That what is paid is back pay. It has nothing to do with interfering with your negotiations for salary increase. But you come and make it sound like the back pay, which was given to police as if everybody else, that it is an imposition. If you are a police officer, you need to talk to him. Tell him to get things right.
What I was saying again, even with the vest, we make it sound like
even with the what?
A vest looks like, such a prestigious thing.
Even if the what you said, that we're making it look like something.
Basic. Every single police officer needs to have a vest to do their work properly, because these guys are at risk. What is
the issue? What is the issue with the vest? You see, this is where you know where they're coming from. He's just so agitated. He don't have a chance to have a conversation with me. We overdue for a commercial break. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
He's so agitated. This is the problem. The Cameron law wants to take a crack at the Prime Minister so much that he's mixing up back pay with pay increase. Basically, if they say, okay, the back pay amounts to 13% or whatever, and that back pay is from 2022 to 22, let us pay them the back pay which is already outstanding. It is something already owed and so on. But he's sounding like he's mixing up the back pay with the pay increase that they're still in negotiations for. Anyway, let's take the break, Jaquan. It's already almost 22.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
If you recently submitted a claim to the National Insurance Corporation, you also need to submit your financial account information to get paid. All NIC benefit claims are now paid conveniently through your local financial institution. To provide your bank or credit union account information, simply log on to the NIC website at www.stlucianic.org. Click the Financial Account Information tab and fill out the form. It's that easy. You only submit once. Ensure you enter the details of an open active account in your name. If you do not have access to the internet, visit any NIC office to collect a financial account information form. Help us to help you. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The telephone lines are still open to take your calls on today's Real Issues. Just about 15 more minutes, maybe a bit less, to take calls. 487-9849, the number on which you can WhatsApp call us, and you can also reach us on the landline 4533-911. Someone says, I went to QEH Barbados at 9 p.m. and QEH is Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Barbados. After triage, hungry and tired, I discharged myself around 1 p.m. having not seen a doctor. Another message says, Shelton, just so you know, Brooms is from the south, Labrie to be exact. Yes, and another person says, yes, a south officer, nice guy, Brooms. And so he's described as being a really animated police officer in the baton relay. So Officer Brooms being highly spoken of. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Shelton.
Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Republic of Labrie. Yeah, I can proudly say Officer Brooms used to be my neighbor in Labrie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a wonderful gentleman. And I want to say kudos to the Royal Force. They did a very professional job at the bottom, really. Yes, when it's good, we have to say it's good. We need to commend them because we cook sometimes to highlight the negative and we don't highlight the positive.
Yes.
Yes, I have to say kudos. And also, Shelton, to the government for putting on the Independence Expo in Beaufort. It was very successful. Yeah, to small business owners,
Okay.
especially like me. Yeah, it was very welcoming. So I want to say kudos to the government on this. I just wanted to highlight that. Shelton, and what you said about the roads earlier in your preamble, Shelton, that is so true. Like these two projects will just tie the hands of the government. Yes, you could see it's a deliberate effort.
For example, how is it only now that we are discovering that, for example, Namalco is only now hiring key people, truck drivers and whatever else was said, for the West Coast Road project. This is a big project. There's something before when you win a contract that is called resource mobilization, Why is it that when the road is already supposed to be in the thick of getting going and getting things done, that's when you're doing those things, which should be part of your prior resource mobilization? Who oversees that? Who's checking? Those people are due to buy, and by now they should have completed at least 5 miles of road, but now they're struggling to find drivers for this kind of thing. Who oversees those things? To whom are those things? I think you get my drift. I'm lost for words, which I seldom am. Yeah.
Yes, and they want to blame King. It is beyond King. They want to call him a lazy roller, all kind of things. It's beyond him. His hands are literally tied.
Even if it's not a St. Lucia government funded thing, but does not the Ministry of Infrastructure have its own oversight mechanisms in place? Its own monitoring engineer and so on to look and to say, hey, to tell King, hey, chief, or the PS or whoever they report to, chief, I don't like what I'm seeing there. Those guys, they something like that. You need to look into it. Anyway,
because I believe that's the pressure King is getting. That's why he had to come out and make this statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah. Where are we on the WhatsApp there? Okay. Big up to Officer Brooms from Labrie. His father, a former police officer, is still alive in his 90s. Don't think he's labor, but great guy. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, it looks like Officer Brooms made a great impression on a lot of people. So I think he deserves his kudos. Whether or not he's do we have a call on the line? Hi. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shelton, and how are you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Haven't called your program in a while.
What made you do this time?
Sheldon, in fairness to Namalco, I believe that prior to commencement of work on the roads, I noticed that there was ads in the papers and everywhere for the hiring process. So I don't know what happened. A lot of people were hired, but then as you know, the workforce in St. Lucia is one thing, Sheldon. If you ask employers in St. Lucia, they will tell you that workers are wanting in St. Lucia. Anyway, but this is not the reason why I call. I just wanted to, just touch on that just a little bit. But a question that I want to ask you. As a little boy in the 60s and 70s, I remembered that the prison, the prisoners were used by government to undergo certain works. We used to see them cutting branches and doing cleaning of this and cleaning of that. Can you tell me, or can you investigate to find out whether, because I have not seen it done in quite a while, in years.
Well, they say Tuavo.
Find out whether this is something that is against international law, or what is going on.
Is that what we call say Jean Tuavo?
Yeah, but then they used to have a flat truck, and they used to take them around, and they used to clean the streets and do a lot of work in the gardens and a lot of places, and even some places in the countryside. So is it because of some international law that this was stopped, or what's going on.
Okay. I don't think it has stopped. I think the organization of it has changed as opposed to what used to be MCW, Ministry of having trucks and all of that. They give contracts to private people and that sort of thing. Contracts for tree cutting and now you have the step and those people cleaning roadsides and doing that sort of thing. So I think it is the arrangement of it has changed, but I don't think the process of it, because if nobody was doing that kind of thing of trimming branches and so on, roads would be impassable. I mean, roadsides would be big jungles and forests now, so yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I asked that from Shelton, because I have been following a lot of the African news and the revolution that has been taking place in Africa, in Burkina Faso and Niger and those areas. And then the news came out, it showed where the government of Burkina Faso used their prisoners to do agriculture and to see the amount of wheat and the type of crops, among other things, that Burkina Faso and the type of crop that they produce for export and to also to use in government services like hospitals and the prison itself to be self-sustaining.
Okay.
So this is something that, and that is why I asked whether it is something that is against international law, because in defiance of the West, those countries in Africa, they are doing things that is, turning heads as far as the economy is concerned, which is working great. That the prisoners are producing huge amounts of food to even export and to for consumption in their countries. So I think that is a model to look at.
Okay, my friend.
In St. Lucia, and not just producing food, but then of course those prisoners, they are learning a skill that once they leave the prison, they have something to fall back upon. And that the Burkina Faso government, they are saying that they are not selling any more land to foreigners. Okay? They are taking the land. It is being nationalized so that the government can make good use of the land and then to give it to the people of Burkina Faso and Africans for them to grow food and to do other types of businesses.
Okay,
so
my
I
friend.
think that is a model. This is something that needs to be looked into. I think it is a good model to follow.
Okay, many years ago, I do remember the then Deputy Director of Corrections, Mr. Gus Small, did in an annual report that they have to present to the court, indicate that the prison farm program at Bordile was so successful that they had very little that they needed to buy to feed the people at the prison. That they were growing crops, livestock, eggs, whatever, that they were really doing well. I don't know over the years how this went, because
I think this is a good crime deterrent.
Yeah, a government changes and then they just abandon. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, caller.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we have another caller on the WhatsApp line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, Shelton. So now I have to basically wrap up because I've been on hold for the last 6 minutes. Now I'm not complaining. I cannot speak about what I initially called to speak about. However, I will highlight to Mr. Gasper that Castries Central tried to keep up with what sells. But I want to continue to highlight Officer Broomsman, his energy, his passion over the entire battery must be commended. The police officers and the patients, the presence, big up them. And again, of course, Broomsman from the south, Laborie, bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much. Hi, caller, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want Sheldon to
speak up a bit. I'm hearing you very low and muffled.
About Mr. New traveling cost. How much it cost solutions for all the
Mr. what?
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, what he did?
Yes, how much it costs in pollution for all the traveling we did in Houston.
Why are you talking so softly? I can hardly hear you. You don't want people to check your voice?
Something like that, because there are other people around.
Okay, but I'm hardly hearing you. That's
okay. I was just telling you, I want Sheldon to find out how much it costs in pollution for all the traveling when he was in power, all the traveling he was doing, how much it costs in pollution for all the traveling he was traveling, how much it costs in pollution.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think okay. That information has been given already, but I'm not sure whether
And one other thing, one more thing. At the time of COVID, I think there was one of the hotels up north that was housing some of the people that were on quarantine. How much money collected from that hotel or the people that were paying in the government, different governments, because he was holding solutions. He was holding the people from the airport to quarantine in one of the hotels up north.
Okay.
And I believe he was getting paid for that. How much money collected and what happened to that money?
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
All right. Another person says, Shelton, the caller made a very important point about police inaction. For example, wasn't it extremely strange that Peter Josie was not arrested for questioning when he openly invited the youth of VA4 to shoot down Labour Party politicians? And shouldn't that nincompoop lawyer have been arrested for questioning when he suggested in public that SLP homes should be burned to the ground? I totally agree with you. These things, you allow them to slide, and then, you see other people like there's a particular verve with which they are confronted and they are accosted and they are dealt with and so on. You have to be even-handed and thorough when you do this thing. Let me just take one, not a last call, but a message that has been pending. It says, ask the law whether he will return the money and ask his members to do likewise. I think there's a second person who says this. If law doesn't like the money that has been deposited in his account, he can return it. He can write to the accountant general or the minister of finance and say, we decline. I'm writing on behalf of my membership. Let him go and do that. I suspect he won't have much of an association to even be part of, much less to preside over. Leslie Ann Modest is an angel. That's somebody who said in response to what I said about that lady. She really made an impression on me. There's another gentleman, good gentleman I knew there called Sean Greenidge. There's a Mr. Ogis. So many other wonderful people at Inland Revenue. This place made a deep impression on me as a change in the behavior of people in government. But we have to run now, folks. Actions speak louder than words. Cameron Law is a political operative. And then another one says hospitals in the UK are also in chaos. Probably the same and I think he missed a word there. That's the real issues for today, folks. The time always seems to come so quickly. Much too quickly, I must say, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me. But God willing, all things equal, there's always tomorrow for us to do this again from 12:30 until 2 on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, Facebook and YouTube, live streaming. On behalf of Jaquan and all of us here, till next time, Shelton Daniel, signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton.